Bitch, you left me on my own. Ay, onto that door, you know what?
Peace. What's up, guys? How's it going? Hope you guys are doing well. Let's talk about and discuss NXT for October the 25th, 2022. This was a really fun and solid show. I enjoyed it. Shawn Michaels was on his game this week. Kudos to him. Really solid episode. I love it when they throw 1,000,001 things at us. I fucking love that shit. Hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe to videos. We kicked the show off with Nikita Lyons and Zoe Stark versus Katana Chance and Kaden Carter for the NXT Tag Team Championships. So, KC Squared, they got rolled up by Starks, so she got the win. But it was a blind tag, so they had to restart the match, and then KC Squared, they retained by doing the neck breaker into the 450 combo for the 3 on Nikita Lyons. I'm fine with that. So this seems like they're going to go heel with Zoe Stark. She's going to turn heel on Nikita Lyons in due time, whenever the rematch is going to be. Later on in the show, she's pissed off about it. That being Zoe Stark, she's really pissed with Nikita, saying, how could we lose to Carter and Chance? We had them. Nikita said she apologizes and we'll get them next time, and we're gonna win. So it all points to a heel turn, and we are gonna see Zoe Stark turn heel, which actually does make sense. And I do think we are going to get, in due time, Mandy Rose versus Nikita Lyons. And Nikita is going to defeat Mandy Rose in due time. All in due time. So, and the match itself was solid. I enjoyed the match. It was fun. Alright, so, moving on. So, we got a video package involving Ilja Dragunov. So he says that he was so close to winning the NXT championship at Halloween Havoc, but he was so far from it. He says JD McDonagh stole his destiny. He said JD enjoys manipulating Dragunov's reality. He says JD is a cancer to NXT UK, and until Dragunov remove him, he says no one in NXT is safe, not Ilja himself, or Braun Breaker, or anyone else until JD is removed. And then then Ilja says tonight the Czar will eliminate JD once and for all. So that's going to be the main event. We're going to talk about the main event. So, main event time. JD McDonagh versus Ilja Dragunov. Nothing on the line, which does not make any sense at all. I don't know why we did that. So basically, towards the end of the match, Dragunov's going for Moscow, Torpedo Moscow. And so JD McDonagh, he counters that into like a body scissors triangle choke. And Ilja, he passes out. And the ref stops the match. And then he's stretchered out. So that's how we kind of go off the air. I don't know what JD is going to get for doing that. I don't know what we're going to do with Ilja. It seems like they're going to write him off. I would assume that you could probably send Ilja to the main roster. He doesn't really need to be on NXT at all. He's got character, and the guy's intense as fuck. I could easily see him on SmackDown challenging, Sheamus, McIntyre, Walter, aka Gunther again, reliving their feud, bringing that back up. So I could see him going to the main roster. I feel like he needs to kind of bypass NXT. That's just me. Moving on. So We get a downer. That being T-Bar, aka Dominic Dajakovic. He says the second coming isn't about retribution, it's about justice. Who gives a fuck? So he's burning his T-Bar mask in the fire. I cannot tell you guys how much I do not like Dominic Dajakovic. I really don't. Like, get rid of him, send him to Impact, MLW, send him to Tony Khan and put him on Ring of Honor television whenever they get it. I don't care. Get him the fuck off of my television. He's boring. Moving on. So, Wesley, he's in the wing, and he gets a pretty good pop from the crowd. The fans chant, "You deserve it." So, Wesley, he thanks everybody. He goes on about how he never thought he'd make it to the WWE. Never thought he'd be a champion. Damn sure didn't think he'd be a champion on his own. He talks about the passion that NXT had inspired in him. Even when he was in a dark place, winning the title gave him a sense of validation. Come on, dude, you're a wrestler. This is not like, I don't know, therapy session. This isn't therapy. Like, you're not in therapy. Come on, bro. You're a wrestler. Act like it. It gave him a sense of validation that he's been searching for his entire life. That he belongs. That there's a place for him, and he's loved. He's forever grateful. Depending on hearing, you deserve it. So, he says he's thankful. And then he says superstars don't deserve the love fans show them all the time because it is special. But he plans on, and then out of nowhere, yes, you do. Jan erupts. Lee says he will continue to make sure he exceeds any and every expectation. Then we get Grayson Waller. He interrupts. Waller tells Lee to stop sucking up. He didn't deserve anything. He needed to do the fans. Waller says Lee had a good Saturday because he didn't. He hates this stupid made-up holiday, Halloween. Makes fun of Halloween. Says just because, Lee said just because Waller lost, it doesn't mean that he can't come out and rain on his parade. Or so technically he climbed the ladder at Home Depot. And he got nothing. And then out of nowhere, R-Truth comes out and the fans just fucking erupt like crazy. And so Truth does his regular comedy gimmick, and he says he's ready to kick off Halloween Havoc. And everybody tells him, hey, look, it's the wrong night. That was 3 days ago. Then he makes fun of Waller's Australian accent with a British one. They're kind of basically the same. Australia and in Britain, they're kind of the same, so it doesn't really matter. Waller breaks it to the Truth that Halloween Havoc happened 3 days ago. Truth laughs, and Lee shows his title to Truth, saying that the event already happened. And so Truth, he congratulates Wesley, and then he says, both Wesley and Truth, they make fun of Waller for losing his casket match to Apollo Crews. And then, so Waller, he attempts to leave, and then he attempts to attack both Truth and Lee, but they take out Waller. So they babyface beat down the heel, which makes sense. So, moving on. So, Idris, Ina Fey, Malik Blade, they're backstage, getting ready for their match. Blade's nervous about it, and Ina Fey hypes him up, says this is their night, and they're going to take his big opportunity. They're not going to let the opportunity slip away at all. And Blade, he's fired up, and they're ready to win the titles. Next, we get Shotzi versus Last Legend. So Shotzi's dressed in Halloween attire. So Booker T says on commentary that if he were to have Last Legend for 6 months, he could make her into a champion, which actually makes sense, and I think that's where Last Legend should actually be. She's not ready for television. She's just not. All right, she's got a lot of work to do, and just Shotzi's not, one to be working with. I love Shotzi. She's good at what she does, but she's like a crash test dummy. She just goes balls to the walls on everything. It's all in or nothing. But match was okay. It was short. So she wins via DDT, and she was introduced by Get Off My Fucking TV, Quincy Elliott. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say anything about him. I'm just not. So Apollo Crews is backstage with Mackenzie Mitchell. So Crews basically says that he's done with Grayson Waller. It's over. And that's R-Truth's problem. And then he says that Brian Breaker's going to be back next week. And he's interested to see what he has to say. So this is interesting, I guess. I don't know. Apollo Crews is not the one to kind of beat Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker needs a really good heel and a really good feud to keep him going. And Apollo Crews is not the guy. Apollo Crews is probably going to be in NXT for another few months. And then he's headed back to the main roster. That's just me. I don't see him being there past maybe after WrestleMania season. I see Apollo being back on the main roster. That's just me. So, we were supposed to get Brutus Creed versus Damon Kemp, but we don't. So, Brutus, he's in the ring with his brother Julius, and so Julius says that he's basically said that actions have consequences, and now it's his brother's turn to put his explanation point on what he did at Halloween Havoc. And let me start from the beginning. I'm sorry, guys. So Julius, he takes the mic, talks about how he was in a lot of pain after defeating Damon Kemp at Halloween Havoc. He said nothing would have felt worse than his brother had lost his career. Julius goes on about how Kemp is learning. Julius goes on about how Kemp is learning that actions have consequences, and now it's his brother's turn to put an exclamation point to this whole thing. So Brutus gets on the mic. He says that he loves his brother, and he can't thank his brother enough. And so Brutus gets extremely hyped up and says that now it's his turn. He says he promised Kemp 5 minutes in the ring, so bring your ass down here, and so he can beat it. Brutus says he will now finish it with what Kemp started. So Damon, he appears on the Titantron, says that he calls the Creed a couple of dummies. He says Julius got lucky at Halloween Havoc, and a medical saved Brutus from tonight's fight. So he's not medically cleared, basically. Kemp shows that he's injured, and Brutus says every day Kemp makes him wait, the beating will just get worse and worse, because it's Dynamite Forever. So they celebrate. Then, out of nowhere, they're beat down by Veer and Sangha, who are dressed in suits, and they beat them down. And I'm like, oh shit, this is great. So I'm digging what they're doing. I really am. I'm loving what they're going to do with Veer and Sangha. I'm glad they're back. This does add much depth to the tag division that's really gotten stale right now, because you don't have that many teams right now. You got Gallus, the Creeds, now Veer and Sangha, Malik Blade and Idris Inifab, and Pretty Deadly, And I think that's it. That's all you got. Oh, Schism. I mean, well, aka the dyad. And we'll talk about that too. Speaking of Pretty Deadly, and yeah, let's go ahead and get into the tag match. Pretty Deadly versus Idris Enifei and Malik Blade. So Pretty Deadly, they win via spoiled milk. They retain their tag titles, like, duh. And I knew that neither tag title match was going to main event the show. I already knew that going in. I knew what was going to happen from the start. Let's talk about what Pretty Deadly did backstage. So they're talking about how athletic and fast Blade and NFA are, and that they're fan favorites. No, they're just talking about themselves. And they say that Inoue and Blade couldn't even lace up their boots. So that was pretty cool. So I love what they're doing with Pretty Deadly. Love it. Toxic Attraction. So they're all chilling. So Mandy's driving in her car, and Gigi, she's at the pool, and JC, she's in the gym. So they're all like on FaceTime. So Rose says she's thankful that they all got out of Halloween Havoc alive, and that they kept the title. Jane says they beat Alba Fire at her own game. Rose says Toxic Attraction is in the man, and next week they're going to celebrate the 1-year anniversary of Rose's title run. Rose says, you bitches better be ready to celebrate, because as long as we have the title, it's Toxic Attraction and everyone else. So I fucking love it. Can't wait for the celebration. I'm so excited for Mandy. I do feel that Mandy will be on the main roster sometime next year. Don't know when, but I do see her dropping the title next year sometime. Don't even know when. Let's see. Moving on. Okay. All right. I think the last bit of news. Well, yeah, the last thing is the dyad Schism, and I've done everything else. All right. So Schism, they're out. They got their yellow mask on with the names written on them, and then so they all unmask themselves. So Gacy grabs the mic and he says that NXT is arrogance is a commonplace. No, he says that arrogance is a commonplace in NXT. He talks about the unity of Schism and that how these pioneers with him are free and that many more to come, and that their togetherness is their greatest accomplishment. Gacy says their mission statement is clear: remove your mask and join the Schism or be torn down. Fowler says NXT is a den full of selfishness, greed, and envy of others is good fortunes. He says the Schism hears your comments at them, but they understand that this is simply a reflection of your own shortcomings. He says that by coming together, that the system can work. Water to roots, and more roots will grow. But allow them to dry out, and so we'll all hope. So Jagger, he speaks next, and he says about how to be truly healthy. You must learn how to control the social well-being correctly. He says love brings loves, and the Schism builds stronger as a unit together. Gacy says that there are people in the world who make you think they have everything they could want, but they're empty and depleted inside. He says Fowler and Reed gave into everlasting unity. And this comes from showing their true selves. Now the time has come for the new member to take their next step. To sit under the Schism's tree, you must do the same and reveal your true self. But remember, there's no going back. And then, so the fans, they can't take it off. So she removes the hoodie to reveal red and black hair. Then she removes her mask. So it's Ava Raine, aka Simone Johnson, the daughter of The Rock. And I fucking love this. So the fans pop for her big time. She says, love and acceptance the Schism has given her defies any perceived notion of who she's supposed to be. She says, this finally completes her. She's Ava Raine. The Schism, they do a hug and everyone smile. And Gacy says, this collective of heart beats together for the roots of one tree. And then they all do the peace sign and they dip out. I love that. I love it. So this is great. I'm digging what they're doing. And I think Ava Raine being involved in Schism is going to do wonders for her. Because she can still be used into the bloodline stuff when The Rock comes, probably sometime in January. So you can still use this as, fodder. Because she's going to be in NXT for quite some time. She's going to be there for at least till she's like 23 or 24, probably 24, I would imagine. And this is great. I'm proud of her. She's 21. She gets it. And I do think that she's going to be big. And, putting her with a group, putting her with a faction that's over, and she's only going to learn so much from Gacy. I think she'll learn how to do promos really good with Gacy. Being in a faction when you're not in the business long, it helps you mature and grow better and progress better. And I think with her being with like 3 vets in the industry is going to be great. So I think this is great. I can't wait to see how this progresses. So there's that. We got a couple more things to discuss. So Rika, she's backstage. We haven't seen her in like what, 2.5 months. So she's nervous. She's excited to face Indy Hartwell tonight. Kind of like the feeling she gets before a big wave. She knows Indy's a badass competitor. Indy interrupts, just doing tricks for the crowd is cool, but it'll only take you so far in NXT. Indy says NXT is all about winning, and so Rika is about to learn that tonight. So Indy versus Sorika, quick match. Indy wins via a punch to the back of the head for a 3. I'm like, damn. So I do like that. So I'm digging what they're doing with Indy. Post match, sexy ass Elektra Lopez makes her return. She takes out both. She takes out Sorika, and she beats her down. Does like a kind of inverted version of the KOD. And then she says she's coming for each and every one of the females on NXT. So I like that. So I'm glad she's back. We're gonna Chase U segment. So Andre Chase, he's upset for Buddy Haywood for not showing up. Dude cuts and he's late, but he apologizes. He was looking for Buddy. Andre says Buddy was supposed to give a presentation on holiday traditions in pro wrestling. Dude sucks up to Andre, but Andre tells him to take a seat, and he sits in Brody's empty seat. And then Andre lashes out at Duke for one point because he's not interested in taking notes, because he's using his strong mind. And then Thea Hale thanks Duke for speaking up for her. to Chase at one point, and then Duke ends up snatching a pen off the desk of another student. And then he smiles, and that was it. So all in all, the show was fun. Oh, forgot one more thing. So there was this creepy, weird, distorted voice that appeared. And so they say, or this individual says, to let go of all your pain, washing away your deepest fears, listen to your with your eyes, speak with your ears, awaken from the pits you call the dark, opening up to my soliloquy. So just start. It's just a start. Watch as I come and leave my mark, as I plan to rip NXT apart. Sincerely, Scripps. So I have no idea what the fuck that is or who that is. I really don't know. I can't even think of, off the top of my head, who it could be. I think this is another wait and see type of deal here. So all in all, the show was good. It was fun. I enjoyed it. This is just a fun show overall. So I think Shawn Michaels did a really good job here. We got really good story progression in this show. And I'm excited for next week. So thank you guys for watching. Please hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe for my videos. Catch you guys later. Peace.
Everybody hides their heroin, trying to find the